Hi, I'm Robin.
Hi, I'm Bill.
Welcome to Not the Retirement Show, third journey series. Today we're chatting about longevity. So here's the interesting thing. Despite everything that's been going on in the world recently regarding health issues, life expectancy of people as a whole is actually increasing. The United Nations did a study a few years ago, and they concluded that by the year 2050, which is not all, and they concluded that by the year 2050, which is not all that long into the future, get this, there will be 2.2 million people at least alive who are over the age of 100 years. That is an awful lot of people who've lived a great amount of time.
Well, we've just topped 8 billion people in the world just recently. But you use the word longevity correctly, but I can assure you that my parents and certainly my grandparents would never have used that word. It was just not part of everyone's vocabulary. It wasn't in the language. It was probably in the dictionary, but it wasn't in the language of everyday people. In other words, when you turn 65, which was the traditional retirement age, then people say, well, you were starting to count the number of years left. But it wasn't 20 and it wasn't 30 years as it is now. So that word longevity, I think a lot of people, I don't know, people still seem to think that perhaps it's not a word that should be used, but it's very much part of our everyday language and is very much part of our lifestyle. And therefore, I think the idea or the aspects or the elements of longevity need to be looked at, addressed, understood, researched, whatever word you want to use. But I think it's a big word in today's, lifestyle.
Absolutely it is. And here's the thing. Science and medicine and technology have all reached a point of convergence, have all reached a point of convergence, where one study has concluded that the first person who will live to the age of 150 years is already walking this planet. Now, it might not be Bill and me, it might not be one of you, but somewhere out there, they say this person absolutely exists. Why are we bringing this up? Well, first of all, what it is a message to everyone. You can live an awful lot longer than you originally thought, than you were told, than you were taught. But if you're going to live a great extended amount of time, then you need to find a way to fill all of that time. You need to find a way to be thriving and active and productive and continually meeting new people and having new experiences. I mean, let's face it, 150 years sitting on the sofa watching old movies? I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't do it.
Well, no, maybe could do it for a day or two, I suppose, but not for that length of time. Yeah, the whole aspect of longevity, and you talk about health and health management, etc. Medicines have changed, they've improved, and so forth. Things like nutrition. We now understand that the word nutrition is another word that's come into our everyday language. I mean, when you go to the grocery store, do you look at the label and things, calories or carbs or sodium or stuff like that? I don't think people 20, 30, 40 years ago, I mean, maybe one or two, but I don't think people did that. I think now we understand that better nutrition, and we do understand price, we understand cost, and call it inflation if you wish. We understand that. But the fact is that the word nutrition is a word that we are using every single day. We've got better health management, whether it's our GPs or just, medical practitioners in general, have got different tools, they've got different diagnostics and so forth. Prescription drugs are different, have improved, etc. Once again, the cost of health, particularly health insurance, has to be taken into consideration. But the reality is that, it is there to perhaps improve, but certainly to sustain, maintain your life, and perhaps create that longevity.
I'm so glad that you brought up the subject of nutrition, because in order to live longer, you really only need 3 things by and large: good quality air, good quality water, good quality food. One of the problems that we as a people, as a species, are having at the moment is our misunderstanding of what is food. The number one thing you need to tell yourself is, okay, fine, they're selling it in the grocery store or in the supermarket, as you might say in America, but is it food? Is this something that my body physiologically was actually designed to eat? What do I mean by this? Okay, there's all kinds of packaged foods, snacks, junk food, whatever you want to call it. If you lined up the individual components in little jars of all of the things that went into making that supposedly good tasting but very unhealthy food, would you be willing to eat the individual components by themselves? You would be shocked at what some of them are, because they are absolutely positively not food in their individual raw state. What we all need to do is have a revolution of thinking as to what food is, and then we can get serious about nutrition.
Yeah, I think we also use the word convenience food. I think we overuse that expression, to be perfectly honest, Joe. Is our life so fast-paced that, we need to run, dash, grab something, grab a sandwich and just go? Well, maybe when in our working years, we could see the argument for that. But now, in your later years, you do have more time. You do have more passion for proper food, I hope, anyway. So therefore, that whole dynamic changes, sort of thing. So I don't know that you necessarily have to go and buy convenience foods. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying, what are the upsides? What are the downsides? Well, the upside used to be that, you didn't have the time to go get better food or prepare, cook, whatever it may be. The downside was it probably wasn't the most nutritious food that you could eat. Now, maybe the things have just turned around. Maybe now you do have the time to go and check, for better vegetables, fresh veg, stuff like that. Cook it properly. You don't have to sort of get home at 7 p.m. at night, and because you're really hungry, you're going to make something really, really quickly because you're starving, because you've got to get to bed to get up to go the next day. Maybe you've got all day, maybe you've got all night to do these sort of things. So convenience foods, think about it.
Well, the first thing I need to say here is, obviously, Bill and I are not medical practitioners. We aren't nutritionists. These conversations are to inspire you who are watching the video to think, to seek good quality information, and to have these conversations with the trusted medical practitioner of your choosing. Don't just sit here and take our word for it, but go away and do research and have good conversations and then make some decisions. Well, if you're still watching, we must have said something helpful or insightful. Don't forget, you can follow along with this series by getting our book, The Third Journey, on Amazon. And we'll look forward to chatting with you again soon.